So I've been a therapist for the past 20 years, well, actually a little bit longer, but the longer I practice, the more I realize the importance of the concept of power through surrender. And a lot of times when people hear the word surrender, they think, what? Are you kidding me? You want me to surrender? I'm a survivor. I have fought long and hard to get where I am, and now you're telling me to surrender and give up? No way. But I want to reassure you that power through surrender isn't about giving up or giving into triggers. Basically, what it does is it takes away triggers' power, and you learn how to coexist with them. So instead of fight, flight, or freeze, you can instead learn how to acknowledge the messages that are being sent by your limbic brain and just let them be. So I worked with a client who was a survivor, and she struggled with feeling a range of emotions. And as part of her healing journey, it was really important to her that she begin to safely feel emotions, both in her current life and then specifically in regards to connecting with her past emotions so that she could grieve for the childhood that she never got to have. And unfortunately, feeling emotions was, like I said, pretty difficult for her, and she struggled in 2 different times with that. So the first was when she'd be triggered. And she'd get triggered when something reminded her about how she was not protected by the people who should have been there for her. Or she'd get triggered when she would intentionally think, okay, I'm going to try to connect with these feelings of loss. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think about them. When either of these happened, boom, intense fear would hit her whole body just like a wave, almost like terror. And she would shake, and it would be really, really uncomfortable. So of course, in response, her limbic brain tried to suppress or control the situation to make the fear reaction go away. So limbic brain is like, we need to stop this. So the client would dissociate. Sometimes she'd go to out of control exercise to the point of just exhaustion, way past being healthy. Sometimes she would use excessive shopping or sometimes alcohol use. So we looked at this pattern, and then she said, okay, I'm going to start trying power through surrender. And through using power through surrender, she was able to break this pattern. So when the terror feelings started, instead of going to fight, flight, or freeze, so instead of the shopping or the dissociating, she did something different. She acknowledged the trauma voice and said, well, there it is. And in acknowledging it, she basically said, well, hello, terror. I know you. I know you really well. We've been together many a times. I recognize you, but today, instead of reacting, I'm just going to be. You can just sit here. And she was able to let it sit there and just coexist with it, while slowly and safely experiencing sadness about the love she wanted to receive as a child, but she didn't get. So did the fear go away? No. It was still here, but she didn't try to fight it or control it. So as time went on, she continued just to recognize that fear and let it be. And the fear became less and less, and her ability to safely explore and feel emotions became more and more. So power through surrender, it can be difficult and it can be scary, but I really, really want to encourage you to try to explore this concept, because I promise you it can be done, and it is really, really worth the outcomes.
I want to share a story about a woman who is a good example of the power that comes through surrender. Kristen Armstrong, an Olympian in her 40s, had to go through a series of hip surgeries a few years ago. She has commented that it could be easy to think about her age and her injuries as limitations, but these are things she can't control. She can't change her age, so she doesn't battle against it. Instead, she focuses on training and pushing herself mentally. People ask Armstrong why she wants to continue competing despite her challenges, and her response is simple: because I can. Armstrong's determination paid off when she won a gold medal in cycling the week of her 43rd birthday at the Rio Olympics. I love the way that she focuses on things she can control and doesn't fight against or use her energy on things she can't control. It can be very freeing to surrender to those things that we cannot control. I hope as you practice power through surrender that you feel uplifted and lighter.